Hi, good evening. Welcome everyone to our first meeting on how to grow your accounting practice. What I would like to do is to share with you an outline of the course. So there will be three parts to this course of how to grow your accounting practice. The first one is how do you get new clients? And I think that will be the most important one because without clients, there's really nothing to grow. Then once you got your initial clients, then we will look at how do you maintain your client base? Because if you just keep getting them and they keep going away, then it will be a very, very difficult process to build the practice. And the third one is really how to grow your practice from a few clients to a few hundred clients. And that's what we are going to focus on. And we will go through this journey step by step. So let's look at the first step on how do you grow your practice or how do you get new clients. There are several things to look at. And what we're going to do is probably going to look at the first two in this module 1 today. The first one is what type of practice do you really want? And second one is why are you in practice? Third one, equally important, is who are your target clients? So you would know who would you be focusing and talking to. And then we can probably cover the other sections in our next meeting. So let's look at the first question. Now, under the type of practice do you want? We have a few things to look at. Number one, I would like to look at the clarity tool. This is something for you to focus on and to see clearly, maybe do a projection on what you are looking at. And then secondly, we'll look at the various kinds of practices available and what are your preferences, what type of practices appeal to you, what size of a practice would you be interested in, and would you be a generalist or a specialist, and what type of services do you really enjoy providing. And it's also good to look at what services would you rather not get involved in so that you will have the time to really focus on what interests you the most. So let's look at what we're going to do is we'll look at the clarity tool. And you will have maybe 5 minutes to look at that and to do that exercise. And then our next step is take a look at all these questions in here and also answer some of them yourself. You can put this on a piece of paper and get an answer to that. And finally, we will break out into a Zoom room with about 2 or 3 of you together. And in the room, one will be the person who is talking, answering all these questions and sharing their thoughts on what they think is their ideal. And then you will take turn. The second person will be the observer. The first person will be asking the question, asking each one of the question. So then the second person would be able to answer the question, and then the third person would be the one who is going to be the observer. And each person would have 5 minutes to go over their thoughts on each one of these questions. And finally, after that, we will get together and discuss as a group what are your responses to these questions. So let's get started with the Clarity 2. Okay, this is the Clarity 2. And basically, you would have your name and then today's date. And the first part is your current status. Where are you right now? What is your current situation in terms of work and maybe, personal too? And so write down everything that you have about yourself in here, the first box. The second one is you write down your goal like 12 months from today, and you were looking back. And this 12 months that has gone by has been your very best year. So this is a recap of what you think you have already accomplished in this past 12 months. And number 3 is, why are these goals very important to you? Some of the reasons why do you think you would really like to achieve them? And finally, what do you think you will need in terms of capabilities, tools, people, relationships that you would need to achieve all these goals that you have set for yourself? The next page is kind of an example of how someone would review their current status. Where are they right now in terms their work situation, maybe their family situation, their emotional situation? Kind of do a brief recap of what is happening currently. And then the second one is, in 1 year's time, if everything works out really good, and this has been the very best year that you ever had, what would that look like? How would it be in terms of work situation, family situation, personal situation? You can write this down in here. This is kind of like your dream list. What do you think you are able to accomplish in 1 year? It doesn't matter. You can think big, assuming that you're going to achieve all that you want. Then the third one is, why are these things important to you? Why would you want those goals? Is it going to help you in certain areas? And what are those? If you know the reason, if you have very strong reason, your probability of achieving these goals are much higher. Then number 4 is anticipate. What do you need? What do you need to do? What do you need to get in order to accomplish what you would like to achieve? So let's take about 5 minutes to write down your thoughts on these 4 categories and take a look at the questions that I have posted in the previous slide. And then we will get together again. I will break up the group into separate Zoom rooms. There will be 2 or 3 people in each room. And so you have a chance to discuss. And the discussion time will be 20 minutes, which is 5 minutes for each person. The first person will be asking the questions. The second person will be answering the questions. And the third person would be the observer. And at the end of that 15 minutes, then everyone will get together and discuss for the last 5 minutes. Then we will come back together in a group with everyone. And then we will have a question and answer session. And we will have some thoughts to share. Okay? All right. Any questions? If not, let's go. And we can start the 5 minutes time right now. So have you got these 4 items written down? Now I'm going to switch back to the list of questions. Okay, I'm glad that you all have a chance to share among yourself. So what I would like to and see if there's anyone who would volunteer to share with the whole group. Okay, great. Mary, would you be able to share? Yes. My current status is right now, I have just started my practice. I left my job um, and I got my CPA license. Right now, I just started the practice and I'm working from home, but I would really like to be able to rent an office so that I can be able to meet my clients in my office rather than going from, you know, place to place to meet them in the home or in the office. And I also have like 2 small kids, and I would really love to be able to spend time with them. But now I am so busy with everything that I really don't have much time with them. And it is really rushed. So I kind of felt really guilty about it. What I would really hope to have happened in 1 year's time is that I already got my office. I am able to go to the office on a regular basis. And I also have a wonderful childcare situation worked out, maybe a daycare center that I can send my 3-year-old to so that she would be able to learn and have fun while I'm working. And then also, I would have one assistant helping me with all my clients. I would have maybe, you know, 100 personal tax returns and maybe 10, 20 accounting clients. And I think that would be very nice. And I hope my income by that time would be around $100,000 for the year. And these are very important to me is because then I would be able to have time to enjoy my little girl and also be able to build a practice that would definitely help to support our family. My husband is also working, but it would be nice that we would have one full-time job and one business that would be able to help us build, you know, our future together. What I would need is I would definitely need help with my marketing as to how to reach my clients or my potential clients very effectively so that the marketing uh, aspect of it would be very efficient. And I also need to have a system set up so that I am not the only one in the office answering all the phone calls, doing all the work. I love to be able to share with someone, with the staff who can really help me, and I can help to train her so that she will be able to learn also. So I definitely need help with the marketing system, how to get clients, and also a system on how to find good staff and also how to grow my practice through working with my clients. So those are the things that's very, very important for me. In terms of the questions as to the practice, the various types of practices available, I think there are really a lot. There are some very big ones, there are some small ones, and there are huge, big accounting practice, and there's also a one-person practice. And there are also some mid-sized firms with, maybe 3 to 10 partners. So there are a number of them, and I have not experienced too many of them because basically I have been just working for a corporation in a staff position. My preference would be a smaller firm. I have worked with a big firm, and I find that to be very stressful. So I rather have a small practice that I can really be in touch with my clients, that they can talk to me anytime, and I can really tailor my service towards their needs. The size of the practice, I'm just starting out, so I don't really have a lot of experience, and I think if I can grow to something like a $500,000 a year practice, I'll be very happy. And the general versus specialized, personally myself, I think I really like to have a general practice. It's like a family doctor. So then my clients can really come and ask me questions anytime they have, and I can either help them to resolve them if they are not too, complicated or too involved. And if there are situations that I'm not able to really do for them, I can always refer them to someone who is very knowledgeable. And I would definitely set up a network with other professionals in that field, like attorneys, um, investment people, and insurance. And actually, personally myself, I love to be able to get a lot more of knowledge in those areas, like in investments. I'm really interested in that, and possibly insurance and maybe real estate. Services I enjoy providing, I love to do tax returns, and I think I can handle that. It's it's not too complicated, but it could be challenging. So that gives me both the certainty of being able to do that, and also there's a challenge in new areas. Um, Accounting, I love to do accounting. So tax and accounting would be the basics that I can provide easily. And of course, I would also do some consulting for clients and maybe help them with IRS audit representations. Um, and if I were to get my investment license, I can help them with financial planning, with investment planning, and then retirement planning. I think I like to be able to help them all the way from the time they first get started in the business all the way to the time they retire. And the type of service I rather not get involved in, ooh, I would think maybe at this time I might not want to get too involved into the estate planning because that is a very complicated area. So since I'm just starting out, I think I will just start simple and not get myself too involved. Or I'd like to start it simple so I get the procedures down and then I just grow with the practice. So that's what I would like to do. Thank you, Mary. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. Anyone else want to share? Great. Okay, so I think we are almost time. And what we will do is we will look at the next topic the next time we meet. But in the meantime, between now and then, just take a look and think about that. Think about your goals. If there's anything else that you can think of, write them down. There is no limitation as to what you would like to do. And take a look at the various kinds of practices around. And maybe you can just call up some of the firms and talk to them. So that would be your little survey as to what is available outside. And that would expand your horizon and gives you some idea on what type of practice do you really want to build. If you know where you want to go, it will be much easier to build a road there. So thank you and good night. It's great meeting all of you and hope you guys have a great evening and a great week. We will meet again next Monday at 7 o'clock. Thank you. Good night. Bye.